القصة هي قصة النهايات السياسية.
Good afternoon. You're watching the English newscast on Future Television. I'm Linda Tamim, and these are today's top stories. Prime Minister Tamam Salam warns that obstructing the work of authorities will ultimately lead to a deeper paralysis on the presidential and parliamentary positions. The Union of Municipalities of Gharb al-Ala and Shahad gave their blessing to the temporary reopening of the Nami landfill. And Israeli security forces enter Al-Aqsa Mosque compound in occupied Jerusalem amid fresh clashes in the area. Prime Minister Tamam Salam has warned that obstructing the work of authorities will ultimately lead to a deeper paralysis on the presidential and parliamentary positions. Speaking in New York, Salam said the agenda of the Council of Ministers was piling up with unresolved state affairs. He hoped that ongoing dialogue would have a positive impact on the work of the cabinet. The Prime Minister called on the Lebanese to adopt a positive attitude towards the waste management plan established by Minister Akram Shayib. Salam, however, warned that the dangers arising from socio-economic instability. Touching on the Syrian refugees crisis, the Premier hoped that great world powers would garner more awareness towards Lebanon's need for help and support in that escalating matter. The Union of Municipalities of Gharb al-Ala and Shahad have given their blessing to the reopening of the Nami landfill for only 7 days, as stated in a waste plan management proposed by Agriculture Minister Akram Shayib. Ain Rafil Notary Joseph Abi Sleiman said in a press conference that Ain Rafil will cooperate with the endeavors and adopt a positive manner regarding the opening of the landfill. The government official said the area has bared the waste for almost 2 decades and it can no longer risk the health of the residents. However, underlining that despite all the threats, the residents agreed to reopening the landfill for only 7 days in accordance with Shayib's plan. He revealed that contacts with Shayib intensified during the past period, reiterating the rightful demands of the residents. Civil society activists in Ain Rafil also voiced support to Shayib's plan, putting their trust in Shayib's wisdom. Interior Minister Nahad al-Mashnouk says a waste management plan proposed by Agriculture Minister Akram Shayib to resolve the country's lingering garbage crisis has no specific implementation date. In remarks published in the Future Movement newspaper, Mashnouk said contacts were ongoing with the concerned officials and no decision will be taken without the consent of the people. He also described the developments as positive. However, the minister said the matter hasn't been wrapped up yet and requires further discussions with residents of the concerned areas with the plan. Shayib said he was aiming to enact his wide-ranging plan to defuse the trash crisis after Eid al-Adha. Israeli security forces have entered the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound in occupied Jerusalem amid fresh clashes in the area. Witnesses said today's confrontation between Israeli forces and Palestinians began after officers entered the compound. U.S. First Lady Michelle Obama introduced a new campaign focusing on education for girls around the world at the Global Citizen Festival in New York City. Singer Beyoncé performed to the crowds in Central Park along with British band Coldplay. Actor Leonardo DiCaprio also addressed the thousands of revelers. Michelle Obama asked the audience to tweet photos of themselves with the hashtag 62MillionGirls, the name of the campaign to highlight the number of girls who do not go to school worldwide.
The world is watching. We have gathered here tonight to commit ourselves to these global goals, to build a future in which shelter, food, clean water, education, and basic medical care are seen no longer as privileges for some, but as inalienable human rights for all.
Now I want to introduce you a friend of mine named Barack Obama, happens to be the President of the United States.
Dignity. It's that basic idea that by virtue of our common humanity, no matter where we come from or what we look like, we are all born equal, and that every person deserves to live free from want.
To be here tonight. And I am honored to follow a woman whom I admire and adore, someone who believes as passionately as I do in the boundless promise of girls worldwide.
And I am Malala from Pakistan. I am so thankful to all of you for your love, for your support. But I'm here standing with 4 young girls for a cause, for a mission, for a basic human right, the right to go to school, the right to get an education, which every child deserves.
And coming up next, Labviti co-founder Randa Farah is here to talk about the latest. Stay tuned. Over to you, Yumna.
Thank you, Linda. Today we're continuing with our Positive Majority series, and we have a special guest for you here, the co-founder of Labviti, which was launched in May 2012. It's a tool that highlights the country's rich cultural diversity by showcasing the various events and activities in Lebanon, and has also seen its popularity rise. Now, backed by optimal search engine compatibility and responsive design, the site has been attracting visitors from different backgrounds. Randa Farah is the co-founder, and she's here. Welcome, Randa.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Great.
Thanks for being with us today. So, Labviti, it's this social calendar that showcases basically the different events that are happening in Lebanon. Why?
First, because we want to show the diversity of events and the cultural side of Lebanon. The idea behind Labviti is mostly to change the focus of people from everything that is negative to the positivity in the country. So there's a lot of things happening, like cultural events, activities, sports events, and it's good to highlight them. So this is why we thought about this platform, and we wanted to show this.
You wanted to show basically that there are a lot of things happening in Lebanon,
exactly,
and there are positive things as well. And whether it's hiking, what kind of events is it usually?
Everything you can think of, like hiking, sports events, family events, exhibitions.
How do you know about these events? Like, this is the tool that you go to discover that these events are taking place, but how do you know?
Different sources, but mostly the idea behind Labviti is we let people add their own events, so they can post their events by themselves and in a very easy way. So
but what if you don't approve of an event?
We have to validate them, of course.
You have to validate the events, okay.
Of course.
Okay.
We've seen some weird events.
Right,
So
did you see, what was a weird event? Can you say, can you tell us?
Someone was saying, vote for me. It was like,
oh, like a political,
but it wasn't a political person, but he was just, vote for me.
Okay, so you're like, no, sir, this is not
the right tool.
This is not what we're here for.
Exactly.
I know, and you came even more to prominence after the recycling list that you did. This happened during the waste management crisis. Labviti came up with a list. I know we have the video somewhere here, if our news director will play it, just so we can show people what we're talking about. Sure. So there are different areas, basically in Lebanon, that recycle, and people did not know about this?
Well, maybe not all of them. Even I was surprised of how many entities we found. So we did a research actually to find all the recycling companies in Lebanon. Whether it's a center, an NGO, or a company.
Look how that's a huge list.
It's a huge list, yes.
So, and people are not aware that you can actually recycle Lebanon. There's been this waste management crisis that's been going on for 2 months, and you said, what are people talking about?
Maybe they know they can recycle, but they don't know where to take the garbage, so they don't know how to do. If they recycle at home, they don't know where to take the plastic and the paper and everything. So
how did you come up with the list?
We did a research and we asked around us, and also we're doing now another list for the shops that are doing some, let's say, items from the waste, because there's a lot of people we are meeting who are doing like maybe there's companies who's doing some pillows from garbage material, or any other flex advertising banners, or any other plastic or caoutchouc, so they reuse them. So it's not only recycling, it's reusing
So upcycling, is that what we call upcycling?
Yeah, exactly.
I discovered this term yesterday.
Yeah.
Upcycling.
It's great.
So it exists. Okay, so
So
basically...
we're preparing another list for this.
Older,
also.
okay, so basically to get people to be aware that these things do exist in Lebanon.
Exactly.
You are somebody who is happy living here.
Yes.
You know, you could have had the chance to leave, you could have had a chance to work abroad, but you decided to stay here. You co-founded Labtivity. You're, of course, also in HR. What makes you stay?
A lot of things. First, it's my passion for Lebanon, and I think that every country has its pluses and minuses. So if I go and travel just to hide from the negative side of Lebanon, I will find some other negative sides also in any other country. So why should I do this? So I can stay in Lebanon and focus on the positive things here and try to do something to improve the country while I'm here, because I love it. It's my country after all.
Yeah,
and I know you love your country too.
I do.
Understand
I came back here because I thought, you know, Lebanon needs people to come back and try to implement change, or at least try.
Yeah.
And then we can say we've tried our best. If you had to pick your, and I ask, you know, the people from the Positive Majority, the guests from Positive Majority, to pick the top 3 things they like or they love about this country, what would your top 3 things be? Only 3? You can go further. I just made it easy.
Okay, well, first, it could be the diversity of the events and the cultural side in Lebanon, because there's a lot of people who traveled and came back with some ideas and some concepts. So I find that Labtivity is a hub for different cultures.
Hashtag Labtivity.
Yes, so Labtivity is one of the things I love, and this is why we did it, to highlight positive events. And the second thing could be the weather and the sea, mostly. And the third thing is, of course, family and friends, even if most of my friends sadly traveled. So I know they come back at a point of time.
You know, this is always the center where people come back in return for everything. You said the weather. People, what do you think? People know that we have pretty good weather here in Lebanon, about 300, a good 320 days of sunshine.
Yeah, almost.
And then, and then the ability to be able to ski, and then at the same time go to the beach. This is like the
typical
the cliche line that everybody uses. Do you have any closing words for our audience? What do you want them to know and take from this?
I want them to know the diversity that we have, and also I'm always very happy when people come and tell me we didn't know there was so many events and things to do in Lebanon. So thank you, Labtivity.
Cultural events,
exactly,
also.
Cultural events, and a lot of. So you have more than 100 options every day, which is awesome. So this is something I want people to be aware of.
How do you see Labtivity basically progressing?
Growing. Well, we have more and more people entering their own events, so they don't need to send us an email or call us. They know how to use the platform. They're getting used to it. We have more and more visitors, and we hopefully plan to expand to other countries as well. Why not?
Okay, so it starts in Lebanon and then it expands, like every true Lebanese. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
That was the co-founder of Labtivity.com. For more information, log on to www.labtivity.com. That was Randa Farah. Back to you, Linda.
Thank you, Yumna. This marks the end of our bulletin for today. Now for a reminder of our headlines. Prime Minister Tamam Slam warns that obstructing the work of authorities will ultimately lead to a deeper paralysis on the presidential and parliamentary positions. The Union of Municipalities of Gharb al-Ala and Shahad give their blessing to the temporary reopening of the Nami landfill. And Israeli security forces enter Al-Aqsa Mosque compound in occupied Jerusalem amid fresh clashes in the area. Those are your top stories for this weekend. We'll be back again tomorrow for more updates. Take care.
القصة هي قصة الملكية السياسية.